Alright, 2 myths I want to dispel right now. 1, obviously, country blues players only played in keys like C, G, and E. That's not true. And 2, they didn't play with flat picks. If either of these truths are news to you, oh baby, let's go. This is Honey Babe, Let Your Deal Go Down in B flat by the Mississippi Sheiks. One of the more influential black string bands of the 1920s. They recorded hundreds of sides for OK, Paramount, and Bluebird Records. Big deals of the day, big record companies. Think Sony, you know, big record deals of the day, of the time, if you haven't heard of those. All right, welcome back to the studio. My name is Kyle Orla, and this is the second installment of an ongoing series called Alphabetical Blues. Last time we checked out the key of A in alphabetical order. B flat is next. In the blues idiom, B flat is next. We're skipping B. We don't need to worry about B. That's kind of a defining difference of this series versus other like key-oriented music series. We're sticking with what actually is contextually important for the blues and folk idiom. We'll talk about why as we go. To get the most out of the series, join up over on the Patreon. Depending on the level you support at, each week you'll get information about the current key of the month, and every month we'll switch keys. And we'll do that until we die of happiness, because boy, now we know how to play guitar in a few keys. We're not just stuck in E. You know, I love E, but you know, I like all keys. I like all the keys. Anyway, in my world, and in our world, if you're into the blues and folk stuff, most people when they played in the key of A, they capo, right? Until you like learn the right repertoire. Same is true for B flat. Most guitar players, if you're gonna play in B flat, you're gonna capo, because you can play in G, you can play all day long. The problem with that is every key has a character. And that character is made apparent by certain open strings, I guess. G has its own character, so does B flat. And when you start to get into wider genre ranges, even in the folk stuff, you're going to find the key of B flat. So my goal for this series is to not only show you how I know that he's not using a capo, but it's to help you visualize these different key shapes, therefore help you recognize the character of these keys, which will help you just learn music by ear a little bit better and easier. That would be the goal. I would be very proud of myself and you if that happened. So for the key of B flat, we're going to use the tune Honey Babe, Let Your Deal Go Down by the Mississippi Sheiks. And to do that, you're going to need a flat pick. I use these fancy man picks, which is the only thing in my life where I have the upper crust accessory, which at $35, you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that like I'm top shelf here. You know, it's nice to have cheap hobbies. If you like the bottom shelf pick, I recommend these. Get something that's at least 1 millimeter thick. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the snappy quality that Walter had. All right, so the chords, as I mentioned, it's a 12-bar blues with some rag chords added or sometimes just implied. You will see what I mean in a second. As with a lot of Mississippi Sheik tunes, it actually starts with an intro on the 5 chord, which in this case is F. Now I'm playing a thumb chord. You could play the bar chord if you wanted to. I would definitely recommend the thumb chord. If it's challenging for you, you can use the bar chord until you're ready for the thumb chord. Then it gives us this wonderful triplet feel run. Walking up, or sliding up rather, to the B flat chord. It's the same shape now as this F chord. It's just played on the 6th fret. Going on to the next part, the chord progression goes B flat to F. Now instead of jumping back to this F chord, he does a really elegant thing where he finds a little F chord right here that's right next to that B flat chord. So instead of jumping back, he finds a really cool solution. So what that is it's a little D shape, right? It's just like this chord. If you go back to first position, it's a little D chord. Not a little D, it's quite a large D actually. Don't be immature. So going back to F here. I don't know if I can even keep that. I might have to delete that part of the video. We've got B flat, and you've got this D shape with an F right there on the A string, and he starts with the third. And the reason it's really elegant is because you have this little bass line happening. You've got B flat, and chuck to F, and then you've got the third of F, which is A, then moving to the note F again. So you have F always as the second part of that boom chuck. So I really like that. It's really, I love that about like his style. He's always got a moving bass. Now looking ahead, we're moving to the 4 chord, which in the key of B flat is E flat. And this is where it becomes really apparent that there's no capo involved here. Because, check out this really inventive E flat chord. I love this chord. Now when most folks learn E flat, they learn it like this, which is that D shape. But when you play it like this, it's just a C shape with the pinky on the 3rd fret, brought up to the 6th fret. When you do that, it works really well because this 5th fret is the same note as your open G string. So that's why it sounds good. It also sounds really rich because you get 2 of those notes. So that's the 3rd of the chord. I think it's a lovely sound. It also gives away the fact that, you know, it's a very unique chord, right? So you couldn't get that sound with the capo if you were on capo 3. You know, if you're on capo 3, we're doing the thing, and then we play this chord, right? It does not have the same quality. That, in comparison to this, they're similar, but to me, this one's way more rich. So as we roll along here, we're doing the same kind of things. Got some moving bass lines happening. Slide up to B flat. Then we do this really cool little walking bass line that moves us to the next chord. Now, it's kind of an implied G. Why it's an implied G is because the next chord's C. And G and C, they kind of relate to each other. They kind of want to hang out. So it's this implied bass motion that tells your ear what's happening. You don't always have to play the G chord with it. In fact, sometimes it's nicer not to. And then we move to the C. Same thing on the F, same F chord. Slide up to B. B flat. It's B flat. And at the end here, he does one last really nice little bass line where he creates a full spectrum from the root to the octave, which is just really careful, methodical bass line. It's not like easy to do that, all while playing like with full-on intensity. Such a cool study, such a cool tune. B flat. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Most chords you probably already knew. You probably already knew almost every one of those chords. So it's the way they connect. It's the way they connect that's really cool. Such a banger tune. All right, hey, thank you for watching. Let me know any thoughts or questions in the comments. Of course, the tab, the slow play along, and an extended lesson on this tune available over on the Patreon as the month goes on. ABC, next key is C. So we will see you for the raggiest key of all. I love the key of C. We'll see you there.